What is up, everybody? It is me, TheVideoGamHer, and I wanted to come on really quickly and make this video. If it sounds like I'm recording on a potato, it's because I am. I'm using a Sony recorder to record this right now because I'm away from my computer and I'm kind of moving around and getting ready for work and things like that. But I wanted to come on and talk about something really interesting, and I see that a lot of people have already kind of started talking about it too. You know, the wheels are turning about this topic in particular. And I initially got the idea from a comment that my homegirl Red Infamy made on Twitter. And you know, like PSX just happened, everybody's really excited. And she made a comment on Twitter that said something like, PSX is a great convention for fans, and it would be great if other platform holders had a similar event and things like that, because you know, it's just so much fun. You know, all of the gamers can get together and celebrate games and get a chance to see these great games and meet with the people who make these games. And I agree with her. I think that it's a great idea. And it kind of made me think like, well, Nintendo really did already kind of have a thing like that. Well, I can't speak for Microsoft. I don't really know what they do. But Nintendo already had a thing like that that they don't do anymore. And I'm kind of was listening around, and I know that some people have already talked about this. I know Levelhead Gamers talked about it. My homeboy Rob of Rilla 2 Review have talked about it. And if you guys know what I'm talking about already, I'm talking about Spaceworld, right? Like Nintendo has already done something like that with Spaceworld, where they would show off like new products and things like that to fans. And you know, they would kind of do it to show, you know, what's new and what's to come and things like that. And they did it in like the 90s and the early 2000s, and it's something that they don't do anymore. But you know, we do kind of have something that, well, Nintendo fans kind of have something to look forward to, but it's not like an actual physical event with the Nintendo Directs, of course. And then, you know, Nintendo will have those sporadic events where they'll have some kind of like launch parties and things like that at the Nintendo World Store, which you guys know is only limited to freaking New York, in the stupid Nintendo World Store in New York. And of course, you know, sometimes they will have like those Best Buy events where they'll do it all across the globe and things like that. And those are really cool as well. And I do appreciate that Nintendo does do those things. And hopefully they do something like that whenever the Nintendo Switch comes out. They'll have like some hands-on booths and like little launch parties and things like that are across the globe for the Nintendo Switch. Oh, and also the whole stuff that they do with E3, what they've been doing with E3 since like 2014, where you know, they had that big Super Smash Brothers tournament. That was huge, man. That was awesome. That was definitely a highlight of the show. And then, you know, the next year they had the Nintendo World Championships. One thing that I could add on to that is that if Nintendo were to go back to doing something like Spaceworld, this is pretty much what I would prefer as a fan. Well, first of all, have it during one of my breaks, like winter break or summer break or spring break. Like that would be great, because that means that I will be able to go potentially. So that's what. Don't have it at like a random time frame when I have to like work and stuff. Like that's lame, because I miss out on a lot of stuff because of work. And another thing that I would like for them to do is, I like the way that PlayStation does it, where they have like the keynote, and then they have, you know, after the keynote, you know, there's fans that are like in, you know, the line, and they're ready to play these games that they've seen on the keynote and things like that. Like I would like for Nintendo to do something similar like that, like maybe have some type of presentation like they already do with E3 in their digital event or something like that. They get everybody in a room and, you know, they do the little thing instead of like a on-stage thing. And that's not to say that the on-stage thing is not great. I mean, that suffices as well, but I feel more entertained when Nintendo does those quirky things like how they did at Nintendo 2014, where Iwata, they had that little segment with Iwata and Reggie facing off against each other. It was like some kung fu movie type stuff. Like that was dope. And then they had like the robot chicken skits. Like that was great. Like I would love to see them do something like that. And even with 2015, even though I don't think that was a good E3 for them, I like the Muppet segments. That was dope, because it's true to Nintendo. You know, Nintendo has always been kind of like that, like lighthearted fun type of company. So I would like for them to keep that if they were to do an event, or like to bring back Spaceworld or something like that, and use that as a part of their like presentation or their keynote and things like that, before they let fans touch down on the floor to play these games and experience new products. Like if they decided to do it with the Switch or something. But aside from that, I do think they need to have some other stuff too. I see that Nintendo is really trying to get their foot in the door as far as esports is concerned. And you know, it's been a long, hard struggle for Super Smash Bros. Players to be recognized by Nintendo, and Nintendo finally validated them in 2014. They started allowing Smash Brothers to be played in esports tournaments, and they even had their own tournament, which we got to witness in 2014, and it was super hype. And that was when Mega Man was in there and announced that he had his big special. Like, that was so hype, right? If they would allow things like that at their event, that would make it even more special. Like, have a Splatoon tournament, have a Smash Brothers tournament, you know what I mean? Like, that would add to the experience. It could be like a big to-do. You know, you might have to have like a separate space for the tournaments and stuff like that too, so that there's like so many things going on at once. So, you know, you have Nintendo's part where they have their conference, and then you have the things with the fans that can go out and interact with the games themselves, and then you can have like this tertiary part of the show with some kind of big tournament, like a Splatoon tournament or a Smash tournament or something along those lines, right? Or like even a Mario Kart tournament. Like, that would be so hype. That would be so hype. Like, I would be here for that. I know when Rob of Rule of Two Review made his video, I did have like some questions though. Like, if Nintendo were to make something like that, does that mean that they would have to lessen the amount of Nintendo Directs that they do? Because to be honest, I thoroughly enjoy the Nintendo Directs. I mean, we know that since the Wii U wasn't as hype, you know, like it didn't have as many hype games as I think it should have. I think that kind of dampened the Nintendo Directs. But when they first started doing the Nintendo Directs, and the Wii U was still, you know, remotely relevant to Nintendo, they were really good. I know you guys remember that January Direct when they first announced Xenoblade Chronicles X. Like, that was like probably the best Direct they had ever done. So I think that with the Switch and with some more convincing software, the Nintendo Directs are gonna be like on point going forward. So I don't know. I'm kind of torn. It's like, do I want a Nintendo Direct like maybe 2 or 3 or 4 times out of the year, or do I want one big annual event? I don't know. But regardless, it is a good topic to talk about, considering that, you know, Sony's been very successful with their PSX. And it's like, hey, maybe we should have these big things like that, so we don't have to wait for E3 every year. And it's already kind of moving outside of that anyway, especially on the Nintendo side. Nintendo don't wait for E3. You know, like when they go to E3, they show what they show, but throughout the year, Nintendo's always showing us stuff anyway through Nintendo Directs. And that's the reason why I say I feel kind of conflicted, because I like being able to get information from Nintendo multiple times throughout the year. So that's just my opinion, you guys. I don't want to drag this out any further. Let me know how you feel about this topic in the comment section below. And that's it, you guys. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.